All right, guys, welcome to the show. Happy Friday. You know what? With all the craziness happening on university campuses, we are going to slow things down a bit. How about a little happy, fun Friday with some speed dating on a college campus? No Molotov cocktails, no breaking in the windows, no shouting at Jewish students or Jewish students shouting back at the pro-Palestinian students. We're just going to chill today, and hopefully we find some love along the way. Without further ado, we're going to be watching a video titled Single Speed Date on Campus. This was posted by Nectar. And of course, I need to introduce Taylor in Nashville.
Hey, yeah, we've got the protests, and here's a whole nother kind of dumpster fire going on in college campuses, and that is the modern day dating scene. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, hopefully if we get some college students to just sit down in front of one another, have a fun little speed date, things are going to go well. You know, people are not meeting in person anymore. Most of our relationships are being created online. So this is going to turn things on its head a little bit. So without further ado, again, into the video.
Comes down. Yeah, if you want to.
Ooh, right in front of everybody. Wow.
Hi, how are you? I'm
Good,
Noah.
how are you? Noah, nice to meet you. I'm Isha. Hey, do you want to participate? Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay. Sit down if you're single. I could see myself sitting down at this. I don't know. I might be a little nervous. I might have to watch a few people do it first before I jump into this and immediately start doing it. And I feel like that's sort of how things work. You have the little bystanders, and suddenly somebody takes the leap and does it, and everybody else goes next.
Hey, do you want to participate? Yeah, for sure.
Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and pick up that card.
For this round, you will sit down in the chair for 5 minutes and wait for someone to join you for a date.
If someone does approach, feel free to interact with them.
If they decide to go on a speed date with you, you will flip over the card for card 2.
When you're ready, press the button to start the 5-minute timer.
All right, I'll press the button. Okay.
All right. Now we sit in awkward silence while we wait for people to show up.
Cool.
So vulnerable.
It honestly is. I think the most vulnerable part of this is not even just answering questions. It's sitting there in silence, waiting to see if somebody's going to walk up and want to sit next to you.
Yeah.
What a beautiful day.
Silence is so awkward.
Are you single?
Very, very single.
How long? When's your last relationship?
I think like a year. It's like a situationship kind of vibe, so nothing too crazy.
You guys know how I feel about situationships. Only one of you is really in a situationship. Let that be known right now. Only one of you is in a situationship. Now, I don't know in this man's case who was who, but it's only one of y'all. And does that qualify as not being single? I don't even know at this point. I am so glad I'm out of the dating scene because people are talking about, oh, we're in a talking phase when you're actually going on dates. Oh, it's a situationship, but you're treating each other like boyfriend and girlfriend. All of these different names and monikers for just messy relationships. It couldn't be me. Could not be me.
Just to say that part out loud, like the situationship is essentially you are interested in someone, but they're not reciprocating to the degree that you want them to. You would progress it into an actual relationship, but they're not doing that. And therefore, you're the one in the situationship. Is that pretty much right?
Not always. So it could be two people who are claiming to not want a relationship or just like friends with benefits. And then that's a situationship. But I think more often than not, one person wants more out of the situation than the other. But y'all both call it a situationship, or really one of them calls it a situationship. We know. Okay, let's keep watching. It's supposed to be what, University of Miami?
You mind if I sit?
Of course, please.
You know how nervous I would be?
Hi, I'm Gia. Nice to meet you.
Jordan.
Jordan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I would throw up. If I'm sitting there and somebody just comes and wants to have a date, all of a sudden, throw up.
Hi.
Can I join you?
Yes, of course. I'm Sonia Mia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm gonna have you run.
How
that.
organic.
Up.
Like that? Is that fine?
That should work.
I'm Sonia Mia.
Sonia Mia? Emily. Nice
Emily,
to meet you.
nice to meet
I love your curls, by the
Thank
way.
you.
Mine are fake. I got them curls.
Hello.
Hi.
Want a chance to sit down with you?
Yeah. She's so awkward. I love it.
Come down. Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah. Or do you want it? Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, damn, you had 2 girls interested. Okay, big player.
Hi, how are you? I'm
Good,
Noah.
how are you? What's your name? sorry?
Noah.
Noah, nice to meet you. I'm Isha. Have you done this before?
No.
Okay.
This is my first time.
Yeah, same.
Hi.
Down here?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Great, thanks. How's it going?
Good, good. What's your name?
My name is Emma. What's your name?
Damien.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You look great today.
Thank you. What year are you?
I'm a senior.
Okay, I'm a second year,
Cool,
so
cool.
a little bit newer.
In this round, you will get to know each other for 5 minutes. Feel free to grab one of the perception box icebreaker questions.
When you're ready, both of you press your button to start the 5-minute timer. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
So they get 5 minutes to get to know one another. Okay.
That's it? Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Why don't we go with you?
Let's do it.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how ready do you feel to be in a relationship?
Ooh.
That's a deep question.
That is a deep question.
Is that a deep question? On a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to be in a relationship? I feel like that's a very normal question. Not even, I don't want to say superficial because that has like a negative connotation, but I feel like that's a really normal question to be asking somebody. Are you ready to be in a relationship? Am I wrong about that?
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think that the modern sort of sensibility around dating, though, is so shallow that you date not to be in a relationship. That's the starting point. That's the assumption that you're going into dating with. And so it sounds like or feels like a very deep, almost intrusive question, right? If you're having to ask about whether you're actually ready for a relationship, because people aren't dating for relationships, they're just dating to date.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I almost wonder. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not a deep question. That it's just the impulse to say it's a deep question because you're in like a nervous speed dating situation. It's kind of it's tough. But yeah, I don't know that that's a deep question. Are you guys ready to be in a relationship? Since we're asking deep questions here today.
Well, it's hard because I'm a senior, so I'm graduating soon.
Me too.
I've been single for a little over a year now, and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
refreshing, but I don't know. It's nice to have someone to depend on and keep you warm at night. I don't know.
I agree. This is like a very transitional period of our lives, and I'm like, kind of want to just focus on that for a bit, but I wouldn't mind like going out on dates or getting to know people. You know,
Yeah,
I think
the
it's
fun
important.
part.
Exactly. Yeah.
What action do you want to take but don't feel ready yet?
I just met you. Like,
Yeah.
Do you have an answer?
I mean, I'm a senior, so I'm graduating next quarter, so I guess like graduation.
Okay.
Like I kind of need to like start being an adult, but
Like job?
yeah, but I don't know if I'm ready to be an adult yet. Yeah, how about you?
I guess like same, just like
Yeah.
figuring out the future. I don't really know what I want to do, so.
Yeah, what year are you?
I'm a first year.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
No, you got plenty of time.
Real.
The future's not coming up too fast for you yet.
Real.
Yeah.
It's so funny how like when you're in a college space, I guess like the age difference is just so pronounced based on where you are in your academic career. Whereas if they're like a few years removed from college and she says, oh, you know, like I'm whatever a senior would be to a freshman, nobody would even bat an eye at that. But because you're in college in this sort of transitional period in life, it seems so much crazier to be a senior talking to a freshman or whatever, when really it doesn't matter once you get out of that context. What's an action that you need to take in life but not yet ready? Mine is buying a house, y'all. When I think about the idea of buying property, it just seems like this huge mountain that is sitting in front of my face, and I just don't know where to begin. Do you have an answer, Taylor?
I don't think so. I just coming off of buying a house about 18 months ago, and I feel plenty grown up with that, having to pay property taxes and everything. And just making this move out here to Nashville has been very much big boy stuff. Getting married a few years ago. I guess the next thing that we're on the precipice of is kids, but we're pretty much ready for that. So I'm like, bring it on as soon as the Lord wants to give us some.
There you go. Okay, so y'all got to give us tips for the kids and the home buying down below in the comments. Let us know. Let's continue. Let's see if they have any other interesting answers. I think we're going to ask the other couples maybe.
Do you like your name? Is there another name that would fit you better?
Okay.
I like my name a lot.
Emma?
I was supposed to be named Jade though, but my mom's best friend like stole the name kind of at the time.
Yeah.
And she named her daughter Jade. So I feel like Jade would be fitting, but I also really like my name. Kind of basic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
cute.
Well,
What about
my
you?
actual name's Damian, but
Okay.
I go by Damien just because it's easier for people here. Because I'm Serbian. Well, what's your ethnicity?
I'm half Filipino, quarter Chinese, quarter white.
Cool,
But
cool.
we don't talk about the white part.
no, that's cool. That's cool.
Are you full Serbian?
Whoa! Red flag on the
Shots
play.
fired.
Red flag on the play. What do you mean we don't talk about the white part? What does that even mean? I would be side-eyeing, bombastic side-eye to that comment. Also, I love how awkward this whole scenario is, and you can tell people are just like filtering through responses and questions and trying to throw the questions out at the same time and doing so nervously. It's very
hopefully
fascinating.
that's why I caught a stray there on the whiteness, that she's just kind of spitting that out. I get it. You're on a college campus. You have to kind of be tongue in cheek. White people suck. I mean, that's like the way you're supposed to approach public opinions, I guess. So, maybe that's just her spouting nervousness and she's not actually anti-white and even self-hating white. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I would be taken aback. If somebody just casually said that to me while we were in a date setting, I'd be like, oh, no. Like, the casual nature in which she said that was a little concerning.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Both of my parents are from there and stuff.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, both versions of the name are cool. What's your name?
Kaysen.
Kaysen. Aww.
About 9 months now.
9 months.
Just been
Okay.
going around. Nothing too serious,
All right, let me.
Go for it.
Number 2. What is the most vulnerable you've ever felt in a relationship? These are some crazy questions.
The most vulnerable I've ever felt in a relationship?
Yes.
I would think like in my last relationship, like I was going through recruitment for like full-time positions, like when I was in that relationship, and then he already had a job. So I felt really vulnerable just because like I just felt like nothing was going my way. Like I'm exposing all my failures and everything to like this person. So whether or not like that affects their opinion of me. So I felt most vulnerable probably then.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Like when I'm introducing them to my family, even if it's like over FaceTime, I feel like my family is a very important part of my life. Letting them see that side of me was like, for me, vulnerable. Like if you meet my family, you're a pretty special person. So I think that was definitely for me.
Nice. I like that. I like people who sort of make that, not sacred is the wrong word, but just like a protected space for when they like allow their partner to meet the family and sort of enter the fold. And I think it should be taken somewhat seriously. You don't want your mom and dad just meeting any, Tom, Dick, and Harry when you bring them back to the house, and the same for guys. You don't want them to just be frivolously meeting all these different girls that you're dating. You probably want to keep that a protected space if like this is serious and now you get to be in this serious space in life. Although I know a lot of people view that very differently, and some people just have very open families where everybody knows everything and you're constantly hanging out and all that stuff. But I do like that he's saying, once you're in my family, you're in the fold. Also, these two individuals use the word like a lot. I've noticed that a lot in these college videos. There's a lot of likes and ums being thrown around.
What would be required for you to take back an ex who hurt you?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I think if they show that they've like grown, changed, if they hurt me, I guess it depends on like what they did to me.
So do you have exes?
I do.
How many?
2. One in high school and one in college.
Okay, so you had like a high school dating experience.
Yeah, the high school one was like a COVID relationship, so.
Oh, so it's like right at the end.
Yeah, he was like the only person that I saw, like that my parents let me see.
Oh, okay. So your parents were like supporting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice.
They were super supportive. And we just got super close because we hung out like every day. What about you?
Well, I don't have an ex.
Okay.
But I don't know. I typically don't like to go back to things that I've already like completed, so I probably wouldn't go back to an ex no matter what. I like living like multiple lives.
Okay.
So I wouldn't return to something that I've already lived.
Multiple lives, yeah. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
I feel like changing up scenery, changing up groups of people.
Okay.
Like I have consistent people in my life, but I feel like I read this thing or like saw this like TikTok. It was like do whatever excites you the most because that's like how you'll get the most out of life. And I've been like living like that for a while.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that's cool.
I have to think about that philosophy. What does that technically qualify as? Is that like a hedonist, I guess, philosophy? I don't know. Excitement can take a ton of different forms. I can understand what he's saying. Like, you want to be kind of like a Yes Man, that Jim Carrey movie where he says yes to just everything that pops up and just takes life as it comes at him. And I can understand that philosophy, and I can stand by that to some extent. I don't know if excitement is the measurement we want to use for life's fulfillment and progress and prosperity, but I get what he's saying when he says, like, I constantly want to, like, refresh life. I do like that he has consistent people in his life, because it'd be kind of strange if you were meeting a person who's constantly refreshing, like, their friend group and the people surrounding them every so often. But yeah, interesting. He's chasing excitement. I don't know. Seems fleeting.
I think it's those two answers are kind of like two beige flags that together make a red flag. It doesn't sound like he's somebody who's willing to commit to anything, who's willing to put up with any inconvenience or difficulty in the interim, that's working towards long-term goals. I think especially when you're young, it's a really healthy attitude to have to, like, I mean, it's natural to have the attitude that I want to do things that energize me. I want to do things that excite me. And that's a good, generally a good impulse and sort of way to look at things is, you want to follow your passion to some degree. But the flip side that I think gets undervalued when you're young is that sometimes you have to put in work in the short term that'll pay off in the long term. Sometimes you have to take on responsibilities in the short term, like going to college, that require a lot of discipline, that require not doing things that necessarily are the most exciting or that are the most energizing, and yet in the long term will have payoff in terms of a more meaningful life, in terms of you being able to have the impact that you want to have, to live the life that you want to live. We can't always just be chasing the newest, most exciting people, the newest, most exciting pursuit that's right in front of us. If you do, then that can be, you can find yourself aging and yet not actually growing. And I think that is a downfall, perhaps, of chasing that lifestyle. But I'm not saying that unequivocally that that's going to end this way.
Sure.
There's an unhealthy extreme to, only doing long-term stuff and saying I don't deserve to have fun and I only need to do, it's like that stereotypical dad who's like, oh, focus on your studies and no matter what, and that kind of thing. And so I get there's two sides to that, but those two attitudes together just kind of give me the maybe there's some maturity that needs to happen here.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. They're going to continue on their little date, hopefully. Oh, actually, their time has run out, so we'll see what happens after that.
Time's up. Okay, so I think, let me read part 3. Okay. You made it to the end of the first round. If you would like to extend the date for another 5 minutes to get to know your partner better, please press the button. If you both press the buttons, your time will be extended for another 5 minutes. If you do not wish to continue the date, you will say goodbye and leave now.
He was trying to hit the button already. He said, continue the dates. That was so funny, a little nervous touch to the table. I have a feeling they seem to have some sort of vibe. I have a feeling this is going to continue.
Now, on the count of 3, make your decision.
I forget your name, I'm sorry.
Nasir?
Nasir, got it.
What's your name?
Lauren.
So I'm curious, this is an off-brand question.
Okay.
How do you feel about roller coasters?
Not for me,
for a while
buddy.
I wanted to go to Six Flags, but then I don't really like the feeling of like my stomach going from my brain to my ass.
Come on. I agree, it's definitely sketchy, but for me, I love roller coasters. Like, I almost can't do Disneyland because Disneyland has not that big of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So have you never been to Six Flags? Or?
Mm-mm.
Well, you don't know.
It looks scary. I do like roller coasters, like those ones, just like they're pretty scary looking to me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh, I like him. He's got a confident energy about him. Like, he was just going to go in, throw a little question out the side, and ask you about roller coasters. Your girl does not do roller coasters. Let me let you know right now. None of the adrenaline junkie stuff. I barely go on the little caterpillar that they have at the state fairs when they bring the roller coasters around. I cannot do anything like that. I don't know why. I know it's an irrational fear or an irrational element of my life, but no on the roller coasters. Taylor, you do roller coasters, don't you?
Yeah, I don't mind them. Actually, it's funny. My wife, she'll go on certain roller coasters depending on whether they have a drop. And her big thing, she got traumatized as a kid going on a ride where there was a drop and she had to stop the whole ride and get off. And it's like the worst thing ever, apparently. And my life goal is to get her to go on a roller coaster with a drop or a log ride with a big drop so she can overcome that fear. But I digress. But how do you feel about him going off script and asking kind of a very easy icebreaker, fun question about the roller coasters? Is that like, oh, that's shallow? Or is that like, that's a good way to start something that's like so whimsical as a 5-minute date?
Yeah, I like it because you take the air out of the situation and it kind of just makes it just a normal, it's a softball question, and it's something that kind of strikes you at the side. It's something a little different that people are not normally asking you. So I feel like it's a good way to just ease the tension right out the gate, and then you can springboard off of that into other things. I do not like small talk. I don't like it when I'm just meeting somebody. I don't like it when talking to coworkers in the hallway. I don't like it with anything. So you could qualify that maybe as small talk, but at least it's a kind of unique question to throw out there to just get the ball rolling and to move on to other things. It's better than, nice weather we're having or something like that.
Yeah, you could almost say it's like a little bit of riz. It's projecting a little bit of confidence, like you mentioned, because and I'm saying this for the guys out there who are watching the red pill stuff and trying to take notes and all that. It's like, it's a simple thing of offering something for conversation and it shows a little bit of confidence because you're not relying on the script, right? You're doing something different, but you are breaking the ice of what's otherwise a very tense situation. You're kind of like rescuing her from that by just creating this safe little space to talk about something that is really easy and accessible. And it's a good springboard to go from there into deeper things. So I like this move from this guy.
100%. Yeah, love it. Kaysen, somebody come sit next to Kaysen. He's got a cool name.
What is the most important letter anyone has ever written to you, and why?
I'm a backpacker, so I love traveling. And so it's not a letter that I've received, but I write a lot of postcards. And so me and my friend like to send each other cool postcards. I sent her like a wooden one once. It's actually harder and harder to find stamps because like nobody's sending things via snail mail.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of postcards.
Oh, she's so quirky and cute, and she goes out and does stuff. I'm into that. That's very cool.
It's cute. I like that.
A good letter that you've received. UCLA acceptance now.
Honestly, my mom sent me a Valentine's Day card, and that was so cute. Like, it was kind of, I did not expect it at all. I got excited because I thought I had a secret admirer for a second, and I was like, oh, it's my mom. But
yeah,
it's okay.
Your biggest supporter.
Hell yeah. My grandma sends me Valentine's Day cards. Not that I'm looking for any secret admirers, but shout out to Graham.
Exactly.
What emotion do you feel walking into your childhood home?
Man.
That's so hard.
Do you want to go first?
My childhood home is still like where I go home to, and it's just my grandparents now. I grew up with my grandparents, and then my mom like recently moved out and she lives with her boyfriend now. So when I go there, I guess I feel kind of just not only nostalgic, obviously, but just like it feels a little bit empty. Like it used to be like a loud, big place, and now it's like a little bit quieter. But it just feels like growing up.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go, would you mind adding?
Not the ad.
All right.
Okay.
When was the last time?
That is a great prompt, by the way, for them to say, what emotion do you feel walking into your childhood home? Because it's impossible to answer that question without having to go a little bit into your background and then also speak personally from your own heart about something true about yourself and your feelings. And questions of how do you feel about blank in general are good conversation starters, but to do that in particular about your own life and background, I thought that was a really great prompt.
Yeah, that's true, because there's so many different dynamics that get ushered in when it comes to talking about your childhood home, from schooling to your parents to her grandparents, all these different things. Like when I was a child, I grew up in like my grandparents' home and my home, so there would be just so many different dynamics to get into and so many different feelings. Nostalgia, of course, is number one. And her point about remembering your childhood home as it was when you were a child, now that you're an adult, is always crazy to think about. Crazy to think about how much you've progressed. Open-ended questions are always the best. If you're going out on a date or speed dating, open-ended question. None of that yes or no stuff, even though we just commended the guy for saying, do you like roller coasters? But launchpad questions, guys.
Someone told you, you've changed. What did you assume they meant, and how did it make you feel?
Oh, girl, y'all know I've changed. Most of y'all did not know me 5 years ago, and I'm glad for that. Oh my gosh, I'm glad that I have a clean slate with most people who know me now, but woo! I don't have to tell you how I've changed. You guys know. You guys know all that.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. Do you have an answer?
Somebody told me when I was back home, they told me I got taller.
Oh.
So they told me I like changed
not
physically.
deep. Yeah, real.
I don't know if I don't think anyone's ever told me that I've, how much time we got?
In a negative way.
Yeah, just check it. I would not want to hear that. That seems harsh.
No, I was told that a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, in a bad way.
What did they mean?
It was like it was after, like I went home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was like my friends from home.
Oh.
And we were like going bowling or something. And they were like, and I was like, what does that mean?
Are you good at bowling?
I actually broke my finger in the 4th grade while bowling.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm putting my hand on my mouth because if I was speed dating a man and he leaned forward and said, how much time do we have left in the middle of a 5-minute speed date? I would just pass away. I think I would pass away right then and there. I couldn't deal with that. I don't even think he meant it that way to like be rude to her. I think maybe it was just out of nervousness because he didn't like want to answer the question. But oh my gosh, I would pass away.
But then that's strike 3 for him too, because he started out with saying he's a senior but doesn't feel like he's ready to grow up, and that's just kind of like not the best thing to lead with. And then he answers how you've changed with like, oh, they'd say I got taller. It's just kind of showing a little bit of shallowness and immaturity, and then to put the checking the time on top of all that, it's like that's strike 3, you're out, bro.
Yeah, you might have just a little bit of growing to do. It's okay, but wow, I would. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I didn't even answer the question.
If somebody doesn't come and sit next to Kason right now, I'm gonna fight somebody.
That beautiful blonde hair.
I know. I literally want to throw hands. There's probably plenty of girls standing around right there. They need to go sit down.
Other people assume about you.
What do you imagine other people assume about you? That's a good question.
Cool. But I think probably people assume that I'm too like flamboyant. Maybe I don't know. I think I'm very like. I'm very confident. I just kind of like say how it is, like act how I act. So
Ooh, what do people assume about me? I think I have either resting bitch face or resting sad face. So I think a lot of people assume that I can be kind of like.
I'm shaking my head along with most of the audience because you're like the most bubbly, giggly.
Well, that's because you guys get to see me talk, but I feel like when I'm out in public, like when I'm out with like Risa or John or something like that, I kind of have like a resting sad face or a resting bitch face. And I have heard from people who obviously have no idea who I am that I might look a little bit intimidating or sad when I have no expression on my face. So I just gotta. Bad deck of cards on the resting face there. I don't know what else.
No, I don't buy it. I will say for this guy, though, that confident is a better word to describe yourself than flamboyant on a heterosexual date. Just saying.
That's true. But maybe he goes both ways, you know? Maybe these days, who knows?
So I think like people kind of are like a little taken off by that sometimes, or I'm just like maybe too much.
Yeah.
But I have a chill side to me, I would say. Yeah.
I feel like mine's the exact opposite. I feel like people would assume that I'm a little serious, but when you get to know me, I'm like the least serious person. I am very energetic, but like I think at first I don't come off as that. But yeah, like the exact opposite of what you said.
I love that.
Yeah.
Exact opposite.
Whenever I meet people, they always tell me, they're like, you're so like out there and extrovert. I'm just like, actually, I just had a yerba mate. Like, I'm really energized right now, but.
I think people assume that I'm like a goody two-shoes. I don't know if it's like my baby cheeks or something.
Dude, she does give goody two-shoes vibes. That's exactly what I would assume upon looking at this girl. And maybe it's the hair. It's the hair and the little pigtails, and it's the full face, definitely. And it's the fact that she's like, we send postcards and go on hikes is what she said. I forget what she said, but she gives goody two-shoes vibes 100%.
Thing, but like people like don't think that I can break the rules or go have fun or something. Like,
what's like one of the craziest things you've done recently?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, you'll never know.
You've made it to the end of the first round. If you would like to extend the date for another 5 minutes to get to know your partner better, please press the button.
If you do not wish to continue the date, you will say goodbye and leave now.
On the count of 3, please make your decision.
The breaking point. Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wow. 2 hits. Called that one.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, they're gonna continue. I have a feeling that the guy who checked the time will not continue, but I think these all make sense. The rest of them are doing well.
All right, I think that's it. It was really nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
What was your name again?
Lauren.
Lauren, nice to meet you, Lauren.
And your name?
Nasir.
Nasir.
All right.
Got it.
I forgot about these two.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Makes sense. The vibe was not there at all for these two. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna rip my hair out.
Can I give you this?
Sure.
What'd she give him?
Have you ever gone through something upsetting or painful that you later viewed as a blessing?
Dude, this is upsetting and painful. Watch.
I was about to say.
This is my trauma for the day that nobody came and sat next to this guy.
So
Oh my
last
gosh.
year on April Fool's Day, I had some friends who called me up. One of my friends was like panicking, and she was like, "It's Jordan. He separated his shoulder. He got it out of its socket. You need to run down here now. He's thriving in pain. He can't respond." I was like, "Yep, I'll be down there. Have you called emergency stuff?" They're like, "We don't know if he wants an ambulance to come. We don't know if he can do that." So I get down there, and it was an April Fool's Day prank, right? But what happened was, I knew, because we've talked about these kinds of things, that he probably would have wanted an ambulance because it was going to have to go that way since it was so bad. So the ambulance still showed up, and it caused a lot of drama in our friend group. But long story short, what ended up happening is it kind of broke the friendships of everyone. It broke apart everything. But I view it as a blessing because I learned more about who I was hanging out with, what I value in friends, who I want to be around.
Damn. And he's got good guy written all over him, this guy. That's actually so fucked up, and it pisses me off to hear the story. I love a good prank, okay? And here's what I mean by a good prank. A good prank should get you to the other end of the prank and have everybody laughing, and it shouldn't be something where you're inducing stress, panic, and trauma in somebody without them knowing the full extent of the situation. Like, a good prank is pretending, I don't know, not to hear somebody or something like that. Something where both of y'all get out of the situation, you're like, oh, haha, that's actually funny and clever. And in order to actually pull off a good prank, you have to be funny and clever. You can't just call somebody up and say, like, hey, my friend had his limb cut off. Can you guys come and help and get an ambulance down here? That is not a good prank. And people who are willing to induce that stress in somebody, and especially somebody who's so sweet, not good people to be around. So I like that he said that it sort of drew the line as to where he was in regard to his friendships and who he should and should not be hanging out with, because people who are willing to do that to you, because I know a lot of people think that's so funny and so cute and couples act that way with one another. If somebody is doing that to you, it's not in good fun. And more than likely they have some growing to do. I'm not going to say they're like nefarious in what they're doing, but they have some growing to do as individuals if they're willing to inflict pain upon people for no reason other than to like make themselves laugh. Not cool. Keep watching. Oh. I know y'all did not just have this man sit here for 5 minutes with no match, have him relive a trauma that broke up his entire friend group, and then tell him to get up and leave. If you don't bring him back at the top of the next episode, fly
There's
him
a
out.
lesson here, though, too. Like, don't let the Kaysons walk out of your life. You know, I mean, how
Yeah.
many guys are out there that are great guys you don't give a chance just because they have some poofy hair? Give
Yep.
them a break.
Yeah, go sit with Kaysen. What the heck?
Let's go,
And they still clapped for him. Where are you? Why are you clapping when you could have gone and sat down? Even if you didn't see yourself dating or going through it, you never know. Go sit down with the person for 5 minutes and see what happens.
All right, so I guess we.
Challenge card? Okay.
Oh no.
What?
Hold hands while you tell each other about your first
Wow, they made it another 5 minutes. I'm shocked. Okay.
crush.
Oh, Lord. Like actual crush?
That's what it says.
Okay, how are we doing this?
All
Okay,
right.
nah, this is cool.
You go first.
Okay, wait, like this is weird though. Okay.
Yeah, it's too late.
Like, can it be a celebrity crush? Is that fine?
I don't know.
Is
It
that
says
chill?
first crush.
Okay.
Danny Phantom.
Who's
Danny
that? Is that a cartoon
He's
character?
a cartoon character. Yes,
Oh, okay.
100%. Danny Phantom, and y'all know it too. You ladies who are watching right now, you know you had a crush on Danny Phantom too. A lot of other ones. I'm trying to think of like, well, what's Dora the Explorer's cousin? Diego.
Oh no.
That's probably the extent of my crushes, or my earliest crushes were definitely all cartoons, because I was watching Disney Channel and Cartoon Network all day long.
Strange.
Who is yours? Not a cartoon?
No, I can't think of any cartoon ones. The first one that came to mind was in kindergarten, a girl named Rachel who had straight across bangs and like a Dora the Explorer haircut.
Wow.
And I don't remember much besides liking her and her having a purple Kool-Aid mustache at recess. So that's about as much as I got.
Super cute. Shout out to Rachel.
When I was like 8, I went to like the dentist. I mean,
Yeah?
actually I went before that. I don't know.
I'm sure you went before that, yeah?
Yeah. And they had like a TV playing, like playing a movie, and it was like Curious George the movie.
Yeah? No, not the guy with the,
The man in the yellow hat.
No.
Honestly, girl, you're kind of sitting right across from him. He's giving man in the yellow hat vibes. And if y'all watch Curious George, you know it too. They kind of just showed him, but he's giving man in the yellow hat vibes.
My first
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
It's my first crush. He was like tall and he looked like a banana.
Facts.
Okay, we have another 5 minutes.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I want you to answer the last question, because I'm curious. What's like the craziest thing you've done recently?
I got my nipples pierced.
Whoa.
For the second time.
Emily, I thought you were sending postcards to your friends on your travels. What is going on? She does seem so wholesome and goody two-shoes, and now she's got her nipples pierced. Wow. Well, she was right when she said she would shock us. She said
she had to prove it.
Yeah, that's true. She proved it. It's always the quiet ones, guys.
They did not want to stay, and I refused, and I was like, I'm gonna get them done again because it's worth it to me. I think they look so hot. And that's like another thing that I'm doing to kind of like break the good girl image. So that's a crazy thing that I've done.
I feel like how men feel when they say like they got kicked in the balls or something. Ah, keep that away from me. What are you talking about? You got it done twice.
Recently.
Well,
and now the internet knows.
Now everyone knows, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We all know.
Challenge card then?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, FaceTime the other person's mom. Can I FaceTime your mom?
My mom is dead.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but
I'm really sorry.
I would love to. Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. My dad passed away too, so I feel you.
Oh dang!
You can
I'm really
FaceTime
sorry.
my mom though if you want to.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, if you're comfortable.
Of course.
Okay.
I'd be very.
He took that really well. That's a tough one. You never know. That's a really rough one. I honestly, maybe that's the best way to sort of get that out of the way and overcome that in conversation. That's a tough one. Oh.
Down to.
We'll see if she answers.
They got over that pretty
I'm
quick.
calling her.
Oh my God.
Her name's, well, you can greet each other.
Let me see. Oh.
Is
Hello?
she answering?
Oh. Hello. Hi, I am with your daughter, and I just wanted to say that she is very pretty and that you raised her very well. She's a super fun person, and she's just really pretty. Yeah. But I just got to know her. Yeah.
Like mother, like daughter, huh?
Yes, like mother, like daughter, as she says. Here you go.
What are you doing? I'm on my Jubilee speed date right now. That was Damien that you just talked to. Damien. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Uh-huh.
Nice to meet you too.
We'll let you go. Bye.
Have a good day. It's so funny there.
That's cute. Okay, he took the moment to not only talk to the mom, but just to compliment her daughter. That's, he's getting Riz points for that. Just
Bro,
give
I
the
got
compliments.
like whiplash. That was a roller coaster of like, oh, how cute this prompt to call the mom. Oh my gosh, your mom passed away. But then my dad passed away, so they shared a moment over that, and then they went back to the prompt, and then it was all wholesome and happy. I'm like, there's so many emotional ups and downs in this 30 seconds of back and forth. It's pretty awesome.
I feel like if I FaceTime my mom and some random man was like, your daughter's really pretty and I really like her and she's really sweet, my mom would be like, who are you? How'd you get my daughter's phone? She'd think it's some sort of like stalker who got a hold of my phone and called her. True. That would be a traumatic experience, I think, for my mother.
She's hilarious.
You do look a lot like her.
Do I really?
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. She's like she's a younger mom too, so we kind of
cool.
grew up together.
Yeah, I was gonna say she looks younger. Yeah.
Yeah. She had me when she was like 22, something like that.
I thought it was just going to be like 17, something like that. 22. I guess, yeah, obviously 22 is a young mom by today's standards, 100%, but wow.
Crazy to think about, like, my age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready do you feel to be in a relationship?
Whoa, that's a crazy question.
I'm glad I'm asking this one first.
Yeah, this is good. Okay, I think for me, I'm a solid, like, 6.
Okay.
Solid 6.
Okay.
I think because, like, I'm getting there, but also there comes the moment of, like, it's my senior year, I kind of want to, like, go crazy, but it's like moderation's key. It's like you could go crazy, but you also could, like, have that person just to be with.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm, like, kind of battling, I would say.
I'd say very, very similar. I think, like, I've been single for like 7 or 8 months now, and like, so being able to like have that time and just like, I've loved it. But it also shows me like I could be in a relationship, but the same thing is like senior year, like we graduate in 3 months.
Exactly.
So I think right now would not be the best time for a relationship, but it's not like, it would just be like circumstantial, you know what I mean?
What would you say your number is?
I would say like 5 or 6.
Okay.
All right.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be messing around with no 5, 6. I'd be like, okay, that we're not on the same plane there, which I get it. Not only are you in a transitional period of like once you graduate, who knows where you're gonna go and if you're gonna be in the same area and all these different things, and that's something to take into account. But also there's sort of this, I think, socially engineered narrative surrounding your early 20s that it must be spent on fun and going crazy, as they say, and that if you don't get that period in life, you'll come to resent either yourself or the person that you end up being in a relationship with at that time later on in life. I don't know that I subscribe myself to that, but I think part of youthfulness is having to experience things so you know how little value they hold later on in life. I think they're going to get to adulthood in their 30s and 40s and find the people that they want to spend the rest of their lives with and have kids, and they'll look back on the college time of like, oh yeah, that was fun, but I don't know that I needed to have that experience. And that's something that a vantage point that we can only get with hindsight oftentimes. So it's just, you kind of have to go through it, I guess, go through the craziness in order to realize that it's not necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I think the healthiest attitude to have when you're ready, when you're in a place where you're like emotionally and maybe financially within striking distance of making a long-term relationship something that can work, is to kind of not at least have this mentality where you're completely closed off to something because, oh, I'm in this phase of life where I want to have fun. Now you could be missing out on the perfect person for you that could work, that you could have a lifetime of happiness with, just because you were so close-minded in this particular season. And what do you really gain if you have the person that you can be with for the rest of your life versus a couple of years of fun? Like, that's not to say that you always need to be on super serious, I'm dating for marriage and I'm 100% tunnel vision for my person and I can't have any fun. It's just to say that maybe blocking out an entire section of your life from the possibility of meeting that person when you are in a place that you'd otherwise be within striking distance of making a long-term relationship work, to me that just seems like an unhealthy mentality to have. And when I moved to LA, I was kind of in that season of fun, but found myself there because I was coming out of living in kind of a closed church bubble and weird culture stuff, and had relationships, but they were really kind of shallow and not great. And in LA, I was like finally free from all these outside pressures and things like that, and was enjoying that season and kind of exploring and dating around and doing different things. But then I met my wife and was not looking to end that season of my life, but she pulled me out of it by virtue of being the person that I was supposed to be with and proving that to me over and over again. And it became undeniable to where I was like, what am I trying to hold on to here compared to what I have right in front of me? So that's my little soapbox for that attitude when it comes to trying to hold on to the fun of your 20s. Sometimes letting go can have a big payoff.
Yeah, 100%. Especially, if you've met that right person and you keep seeing consistent proof. But I will say, at the very least, I appreciate somebody who says they're not ready, rather than pretending to be.
Yeah.
Move it on.
You go.
Oh God, first crush. I honestly don't really remember a celebrity crush, so I guess I'll just go with my first real crush.
Probably a better answer.
Yeah, when I was young, I don't know, I just had this crush on this girl that I played, like, we both played soccer, and like, she was, like, we were friends. And she was really cool. I just, like, I was like 10, 12, whatever, and I just thought she was, like, really pretty.
Yeah, really.
She did not like me back.
Did you told her?
No, but, like, there were zero indications. It was pretty clear after a while. It was like, a childhood thing. But no, she was really cool, and she's really good at soccer. I don't know if she still plays anymore. No, I mean, I played like a ton of sports, and she was also like super athletic, so like maybe I was young, and I was like, ooh.
That's
it. Yeah.
Oh, what triggered?
She's a very, very active listener. She's like, okay, yeah. Oh, that's why you liked her? I love that. She's very sweet, but I would slow down.
Is you on dates, and why?
One thing that I'm thinking of right now is like when people chew with their mouth open. That like really bugs me for some reason.
Okay, I'm like noted. Don't do that to other people. This is actually, I guess this would be like my second ever date. So I don't think
this is your second ever date.
Yeah, well, if this is like a date, so
this is a date.
This is my second. My first, it was like BCD tofu, and like I don't think anything triggered me. I think like a million people walking by right now is triggering me and making me anxious.
That's kind of distracting. I don't know. I'm feeling.
I know. I'm like pretty closed in, but it's like pretty nerve-wracking.
Where in life have you cared too much, and what did that lead to? Dang.
Oh, these are some deep questions.
I know.
Who made these questions?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that you can't fix people. Like, as hard as I'm always like in relationships, I've taken on the role as like the provider a lot. Like I have a lot of like nurturing energy, and, like mothering energy, and I like sometimes like think if I just pour all my care into someone that they'll change. And I learned that like the change comes from within, and like no matter like how much effort you put into it, it's up to them to like change their behaviors. That took a long time though,
That's so valid what she just said. More often than not, you are not going to be the fork in the road that creates change for somebody and leads them down the path of doing something that's better for themselves. It has to be an internal choice that they make for themselves. And sometimes you can think that you're that person who's caused the change, but it's fleeting change, and the person will revert right back to who they are because they didn't make the decision on their own. It has to be a personal decision. And so I would answer very similarly to her, in the past thinking, oh yeah, all this care, all this love, if I just keep showing up, it's going to change this person, it's going to make them, somebody who they are in fact not, or at least not in this moment. And now, from my current perspective, it's like, okay, you can trust people to be exactly who they are. No more than that. You can't trust them to be a version of yourself, a version of themselves that you've created or that you think is going to be better for them. You can trust them to be who they're going to be. So yeah, don't pour too much into a well that is going to consistently run dry.
I mean, everything's a growing process at the end of the day. Like, there's things that I think about in the past, and I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't do that, but if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't be where I'm at, and then I wouldn't have learned,
Yeah,
so it's
the
like
butterfly effect, right?
Exactly. So yeah, that's important for sure. Yeah.
What is the most important letter anyone has ever written to you, and why?
Important letter. That's funny. I'm usually the letter writer.
Me too. Yeah.
I am a letter writer. Absolutely.
That's so funny.
I'd say, so my friend just moved out of her apartment. She graduated fall quarter. She moved out. I said bye to her a few days ago. She gave me this letter, and basically everything she said was just about like how much like we only got close this year, and like how much that like impacted her, and like what she like learned from me, which I never would have thought of myself as like being able to like show someone something new, or like how to like different perspectives and everything. So that was definitely the best letter. Like I feel like I can remember every single word. Like it was such a heartfelt like thing to read.
I think for me, it was from my parents. I was graduating at the time, and the letter was just a very like like we're so happy to like be your parents and just like thank you for making like being a parent so easy. And that was just like you forget like parents are doing life for the first time also. So like just to hear that like I'm being a good kid for them was just like the best thing ever. I was like, even though they do reassure me a lot, they just in a letter was a little bit more different.
Yeah, I love your stance on that because I think when I was growing up, I would forget that my parents are doing this for the first time. Like they have no idea how to be a parent. Like and even their like teenage years and my teenage years totally different.
Just,
like insanely different. So when I like would be really harsh, I would judge the way they would judge me essentially. But I think as I've like gotten some space from them and like grown up a little bit, I've been able to like figure out, okay, they're also doing this for the first time, so I can't be like as harsh on them. So I love that you said that because I agree.
Yeah, that's so crazy. It's so true. The older you get, the more you get to reflect on your parents' relationship with you when you were younger, and you never get to go back and relive those moments. And we all go through very similar stages. You're like super young and depend on your parents a lot, and they're the most amazing people. And then you get a little older and you want some independence, and then you go through your little teenage angst of I don't want to listen to mom and dad and all this stuff. Then you get to college and you get a little bit of a separation, and you long for home, or you're happy to be separated from home, and then you hit the early 20s where you're getting into adulthood, you're getting to a similar point to where your parents were when they had you, your frontal lobe is developing, all these different things, and then you see, oh shit, my parents were at around this point when they had me and going through life, and this is the life I have now, and theirs might have been even harder back then, and they're dealing with all this stuff. And if you can get to that point as an adult, I think it's a powerful place to be in. And I like that they're both very vulnerable about the fact that their views toward their parents had changed, and they're very open about their emotions when it came to the dynamic within the parent-child relationship. Very good green flag on the play.
And no celebrity crushes. I know.
I mean, I have ones now, but when I was younger, who did I like?
Like Dora the Explorer?
No. Oh, God.
I'm trying to make my answer look better.
But Diego.
Probably when I was like 12, I liked Natalie Portman because I was a big Star Wars fan.
Not anymore.
Well, I still like Natalie.
Yeah, she's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a big Star Wars prequels fan, so I still am.
Yeah,
but I was when I was at that age.
Like Leia and like some
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is about the.
You said based.
Yeah, people hate on the prequels because they're like cheesy. You got Jar Jar Binks. The dialogue is very cringeworthy and stuff. And by some objective standards, they're like not the greatest films. But they have the Star Wars magic. They're very like entertaining. They're very immersive, and I'm very endeared to them. They came out around the time I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. But people hate the prequels now. And all I have to say to them is look at these new sequels that they made of Star Wars, and you'll be grateful for the prequels, just like the other people were grateful for their parents when they got mature. Y'all should grow up and recognize that. Anyway, that's my little side tangent. But yeah, I like that from this guy.
Yeah, you'll yearn for the past. The children yearn for the minds.
Prequels, but that is
okay. Okay. I'll grab one
for sure for the last minute.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you have something to prove?
Oof.
No, I can honestly say, unless I'm like going on like there's very shallow things. So like if I'm going on a TV appearance or something like that and I have to debate somebody, then in the short term, there is something to prove, like an actual claim to prove. But there's nothing about my person, myself, that I feel like I need to prove as an individual, because to who and for what and why? Because I'm gonna die in like 60 years from now. Am I gonna worry about, did I prove myself to that one person? No, I don't have anything to worry about there. I think that might change dramatically when I have children, and that's not necessarily a need to prove myself to them as individuals, but just to prove that you can be a good parent and a force for good within your children's lives. But that's a different sort of like, I feel like that's more of a deeper, more profound proof to show somebody than trying to prove yourself on any other basis of being a human being or something like that. Yeah,
that's a great point. It's almost like you're proving to them that you are who you profess to be in terms of your values and your beliefs, and that is paramount. But I do have something I admit that I needed to prove myself recently. I went to a co-ed beach volleyball tournament a couple weekends ago, so 2-on-2. And in the division I was in, there was this team of high school girls who signed up in the co-ed division.
Uh-huh.
So one of them had to be the boy that I had to serve, because in 2-on-2 co-ed, the boy has to serve the boy, the girl has to serve the girl, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And we had to play against me and this my partner, who's a girl, had to play against these 2 high school girls in a co-ed tournament, and they beat us because they were like awesome, train all the time, like insanely good ball control and just calling out their shots and just knowing everything to do. And that was a humbling moment, and I felt like I had to beat them to retain my masculinity, and they got my man card that day. So, but I'm okay. We turned out all right.
There we go. You know what? I'd be like, it's an honor. It's cool that you guys are that good at beach volleyball.
Yeah.
I could see where you would take a hit for that, at least in the short term.
But they were awesome. I was impressed.
I feel like as a woman, kinda. Like I feel like, when somebody's like you order something and you're like, you're gonna finish all that, like that's when I have to do it. Or I do a lot of things, like I've solo backpacked and traveled by myself in countries that people don't want me to go to.
That's what I want to do after college.
Yeah,
I just want to travel as much as possible.
It's so enriching, and there's obstacles, but then when you're doing it, you can be like, I paid for this myself. I got there myself, and that feels really good.
Self-starter energy. I love that.
Yeah.
I always look for ambition and adventure in people. I feel like that's something that I've learned even in past relationships. I'm like, oh, that's not a want, it's a need for me. I just really need spontaneity in a sense, but also just someone who's driven.
Ambition is really sexy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Pause. Yeah, I mean, I feel like here's the thing. Well, here's the issue that I take with what she said. Not that she can find you want to solo travel and go do things. I would take people sometimes at their word, or at least trust but verify when somebody tells you shouldn't solo travel somewhere in particular due to X, Y, Z. Like we just saw that couple in India, which was a man and a woman, and they were both attacked, and the woman was raped by I don't even know how many men in front of the man that she was with. So trust but verify these things. And I think we can go to an extent of proving ourselves so much that our life becomes about other people's expectations and proving them wrong, rather than being about our own drives and ambitions. So I hope what she's doing is her own drive, her own ambition, and she's just going F you, I know I can do it and I can do it on my own. By all means, totally cool. But if it becomes you building your life around what other people think you can't do just for the sake of doing it, then you're in a tricky territory where you're no longer living for yourself, and you should absolve yourself of the burden of worrying about what you have to prove to other people.
Yeah, and I'm kind of torn on this attitude too, because on the one hand, it's making me want to solo travel, and it's inspiring to think about seizing opportunities while you're young to go and do cool stuff and see the world. And it is an awesome, enriching experience. But I think in the same way that you can be doing that just to spite people who say you shouldn't be doing it, we can also, I feel like you see this in certain people who their entire personality is the next trip that they're taking. They're living for the next Instagram that they can take, and on a hiking trail in front of the Eiffel Tower, whatever. And it's yeah, that's good that you're traveling and you probably won't regret that and everything. But it almost feels like it's less about you are this healthy centered person who is going outside of the normal bounds in order to add an enrichment and an extra layer to your life. And instead it's you're only living for that next thrill. You're only living for that next picture that you can post on your Instagram or whatever, or you're only traveling for the picture to maintain this image of yourself or being able to project this image to the world. So it's a fine line there. I think traveling is an awesome thing. But I do feel especially in the Instagram age, people kind of make it their whole identity, or lose the actual enrichment that can come from traveling just by making it about the social media thing or living up to some, image that they're trying to portray.
Yeah, I think it's all about the attitude that you bring to the adventure. I like that she said, I travel around and my friend and I send postcards to each other. So it's kind of this little personal nod about your experience that you send to one another on your travels, kind of sisterhood of the traveling pants-y type thing, which love that story and love that movie growing up. So yeah, I can vibe with that. Just hope you're doing it for yourself.
Cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
Are we?
What do we do now? Is there another card? No, that's it. Oh, there's time left. I forgot about that.
3,
okay.
2.
We're quitters. It's fine.
We didn't make it the 5 minutes.
It's okay. You've made it to the end of the date. Your date is over.
Okay.
Please gather your things, stand up, and wait for instructions.
So formal, I love
Yeah,
it.
I know. Okay, bye.
I think we have to get instructions first.
Wait, what did it say?
End of the date.
Oh,
Gather
okay.
your
I was
things.
like, okay. It was nice meeting you.
Now I'm going to count to 10. As I do, you need to make a decision about whether you'd like to continue pursuing a connection with the other person.
Oh,
Or
dang.
whether you do not feel a romantic connection.
Ah.
If you do feel a romantic connection, then at the end of the 10 seconds, please turn around and face the other person. If you do not feel a romantic connection, then you can walk away at any point.
Oh. Just imagine turning around and seeing the back of the person's head as they're walking
Brutal.
away. Brutal. Brutal. Y'all could not catch me on one of these dating shows in this day and age ever, ever. One, because I'm in a relationship, but two, because, oh my gosh, the embarrassment of both dynamics. I would not be good at rejecting people, and I would not feel great about rejection. But obviously rejection is a part of life and you deal with it, and of course it would be fine and everything, but I would not go out of my way to be rejected on camera is what I'm saying. Oh wow, I thought it was gonna be him doing that to her. Oh, okay, he did do it to her. Boom.
Okay.
Okay.
Boom. Winner, winner.
That was really fun.
That's my best friend over there holding my stuff. Best friend wave!
Why didn't you feel a connection with Jordan?
I mean, I think we would be friends. It's just like, I'm a first year, he's like a senior, so like, it's that.
I mean, she was really sweet, but she's a freshman and I'm a senior, so I just think that's, I don't know, that's just not really romantic connection to me.
I usually like to banter with someone, and I mean, he seems like a great guy. Like, we would be friends. It's all good. Yeah.
And maybe the yellow hat man was a bit of a yellow flag.
Jordan, come on now. I don't need to say it.
But no, she was very nice and it was a great time.
All right.
I'm going to count down. If you do feel a romantic connection, then after I say one, please reach out and grab the hands of the other person.
Oh, they did it different for them.
If you do not feel a romantic connection, then your hands can remain down by your side.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. It was super nice meeting you.
It was really nice getting to know you.
Of course.
I just got more of like a friendly vibe. If that's
No,
cool
it's
with you.
totally cool, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was
Totally
great
get it.
meeting you though,
Of
Damien.
course, you too.
Nice to-
I take it back. That is way worse than turning around and seeing the person walk away. That is so messed up. And I have a feeling that what happened and the reason the other couples did something different is because maybe these people were first and they realized how awful it is to have somebody have their hand reached out to grasp somebody and somebody else not have that. And then they changed it to have them standing up and have the other walk away. That's just my theory, because that was devastating. It was devastating.
What was that little like T-Rex arms that she did? It was like, that was a psych out. Like she looked like for a second she was reaching out and then didn't. I don't know.
I think she was going to do it to be nice and didn't end up going through with it. Decided at the last minute not to do it. Absolute
Brutal.
devastation on that one. Devastating.
I
Okay.
enjoyed this.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.
How do you feel about the date, and are you disappointed that decided not to?
Not really. Obviously, she's 2 years younger than me. I feel like with me graduating in June, that's like a very, like, you know, having to date someone still in school. But yeah, overall, not too bad. It says, have you ever gone through something upsetting or painful that you later viewed as a blessing? Oh yeah, I'll talk about my mom. My mother passed away in November of last year. of 2 years ago, sorry, so 2022. She was struggling from early onset Alzheimer's for 8 years, so it was really painful to see her go through that. Obviously, I don't see it as a blessing that she passed away, but I think it was something like over time and through lots of therapy, I was able to kind of come to terms with and find ways to honor her memory. I think I'm just thankful that I got to know her for as long as I did, and the youngest years of childhood are the best and most important, so I was able to spend those with her and just look back at them fondly, and obviously still spend time with her family in Serbia. So yeah, I would say that's like the best answer.
I really liked that she was very like.
Dude, Jubilee, I have some freaking notes. What are you doing getting these people rejected? First you had Kaysen, where nobody came and sat next to him, and then you ask him about a traumatic experience. And you have this guy where he gets rejected, and then you ask him about the most vulnerable moment in his life. This is not a good recipe for, I don't know what you're trying to produce here. This is sadness. This is creating sadness.
It's like that Joe Rogan meme whenever he's got the microphone and like as soon as somebody gets owned, he's like sticking the microphone in their face where the guy's all beat up or whatever. So that's totally what it felt like. And honestly, that was like a beautiful moment that he shared. But my gosh, like talk about kicking a guy while he's down. And I mean, I felt like he deserved the day. Now, I guess she can't force anything, but my goodness, what a sweet guy. And man, wish him all the best.
Yeah, dude, how'd you feel about her rejecting you? Oh, also, let's talk about how your mom died. Jeez Louise. I know you didn't have to share that. Don't tell me in the comments, y'all, but still, damn.
Expressive with her words, and just like the way that she's very adventurous and like outgoing, has a lot of ambition. I think those are really important traits to have in a person.
I think she's really cute. So yeah, no second thoughts. And I'm excited that we're both seniors and we're both in this liminal time. So we don't have like differing expectations for what a relationship would look like.
I like their background. I feel like it's something that's not common in like the LGBTQ plus community is like supportive parents. So, and I'm a pretty family oriented person. So being able to like see that there may be a potential like connection between our two families would be really nice.
I don't know, I'm excited to learn a little bit more about them.
It's crazy. I'm running on, I like did not even sleep.
Okay, I think that's enough of that. It's interesting. There's just so much, I don't know. Obviously, I'm very similar in age to these people. So like they're probably anywhere from 19 to 22, maybe 23. I'm 23. But there is a distance that is felt of like, you're just gonna grow a little bit. I think once you get out of this stage, the pressure that they put on the different years and things of college and how, oh, I'm graduating soon. I think once you get a little bit removed from college, you're going to see how superficial that institution actually is and how important the relationships are. I think more often than not, when you're in college and you reject somebody because of what year they're in, it's more of a veil of the fact that you're not actually that interested in that person, but you use the difference in age in order to soften the blow of the rejection that's at hand. Because if you truly were interested in somebody, I don't think it would matter. And you'd find a way to transcend the confines of the college experience that you are living in. But when you're in college and this age, is probably your entire life. It's probably just your world is right here on the campus that you live in for the most part, outside of the little adventures that you do outside of it. And that's why whether you're a freshman or a sophomore or a junior or a senior probably means a lot and then changes your experience wholly. But I'm glad a few people linked up, matched up. I'd be interested to see if they matched up, if all of the matches were of the same year. Like if they're all in the same grade or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that cookie crumbled, but I agree. The college, sort of parenthetical 4 years, it's an interesting kind of social experiment that we've imposed on ourselves as a society. For my time in college, I was living off campus, working like 30 hours a week, did 2 years community college and then did 2 years at LSU to finish out. And didn't have that stereotypical college experience, but I can confess, like, even just having those few years of like as a buffer to be able to say, yeah, I have to graduate and then I'm going to start a real world life. There's some advantage to that because it makes you feel safe, but I think there's the disadvantage of prolonging or delaying you're taking ownership of the fact that you are an independent adult and starting to act like it and live like it and like hold yourself to that standard. I feel like we kind of coddle ourselves by entering into this like limbo phase, and it ends up producing. It can, if you're not careful, spit you out of the senior year where you're ill prepared for life from just an emotional level. And that's where we see a lot of these videos of people entering into the job market and they feel entitled to certain kind of treatment from their employers, or they're upset with their pay, or all these different things. And it's a lot of that is just you get very little sympathy from people who have been out here adulting for a while, because it's like, yeah, man, that's real life. So if nothing else, maybe that's another takeaway from this video is just I guess get ready to live for real. But yeah, good luck to those who made their connections, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a follow-up and see if they ended up together, or they went on a second date, or all that. I'm always curious to find out if these connections last in any way, shape, or form. And that ends our little Friday show for today, guys. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, we encourage healthy debates. So if you disagree with anything, do get out, but do so respectfully. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time we post a video for you guys, which is every day. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.